Welcome to the session, the delegates present here. My name is Dr. Manoj Modani. I am engineer from BITS Pilani, and I have worked in companies like Escorts, Toyota, JK Tyre. I have put up a plant for Microtech, UPS makers, and we have done the work on EV charging in China. And my experience presently is at ATS, where we do the testing of the electric vehicles. So I will give the introduction about the company. So in 2004, this company was formed. It was basically for ICE engines. And we have offices in Pune, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Coimbatore. We have a technical center in collaboration with Amrita Institute at Coimbatore. It looks like that. Our partners are mainly from Germany and few partners from other countries like US. 90% of them are from Germany. So we do the after sale service for any type of testing for the vehicle. So various type of testings are mentioned here. Not moving. Can you bring the next screen, please? Yeah. So we have the ISO and NABL accredited lab at Pune. Next, please. So these are the electric vehicle related testing. The first one is the motor testing test bench. Second one in the first row, second one is the battery testing. The same setup can be adjusted to test the e-axle testing also. Next, please. Yeah. So we say mostly that EV penetration is not there in India. I would say no, it is there. Railway is almost electric now. Hardly any diesel or coal fired engines are there. Now, electric buses, I have seen this in China, which is having the pantograph, something similar to what we have in railways. How it helps? It helps in the lesser requirement or no requirement of battery. So that saves on the concerns of lithium and other metals. So this is a very good technology. I heard that same technology has been put up on the new expressway between Delhi and Bombay. Next, please. E-rickshaw all around. So when we say EV penetration, what comes to our mind is our personal car. That will be the last one. So many scooters and motorcycles. Next, please. So why the clean fuel is needed? Because India is having very high pollution levels, cities especially. 15 cities out of 20 in the list are from India. So what are the best options? Because in EV, the tailpipe emission is zero. The emission is made in the cities. The city emission is gone. Now comes the fuel. Most probably we will use the renewable fuels for the batteries charging. But even if it is coal fired or non-renewable, that is at the remote location. God has given such a huge atmosphere to us, the pollution levels will not reach to the population. But nonetheless, renewable is growing in India, and certainly with renewable energy sources, solar, wind, so many others, the hydro. So we should be able to have the use of renewable for the charging. Now comes the lithium and other metals. People say that lot of not of polluting sources are used. I would say the lithium is recycled. Only the first initial metal extraction, and that require a lot of energy, and the energy source can be renewable or non-renewable. But Once you recycle, the energy requirements is very, very less, and the lithium requirement also, because of the reuse, it becomes less. And पीछे लाइए. And the concern comes is non-availability of these resources in India. Yes, certainly, but in one of the sessions, Minister Arjun Singh Meghwal told that some sources have been found in India. They are still exploring for lithium. And dependency, of course, is there in India for many, many resources, including the present fuel in plenty, that is the petroleum products. We are still dependent on dependent on imports. And now comes the next thing is the clean air we will get in the cities. Next one, please. So, and when we compare the EV, what comes to our mind is 2-3 hurdles. One we think is the charging time is high. Actually, we have to have the analogy with the mobile. Whenever the mobile is resting, not working, we are charging it. So, thank you. In this case, we are not going to the petrol pumps or things like that to get it recharged. So, whenever there is a long drive, you would say that where will I charge, where is the infrastructure? But in the city, you don't drive such a long, enough charging capacity is there. Even if you go outstation, you don't run non-stop, you stop at the midways. So all those problems are not very big. So the advantage, when we compare EV, we should compare EV with the present automatic cars, gearless cars. Because in EV, the effort is very simple. You have to just press one pedal and it accelerates, and it accelerates very fast. The emission is, of course, not there. The comfort is there. When you brake, it regenerates energy. So the energy disadvantage is not there. Efficiency is very, very high compared to the present ICE engines. Next, please. Next, please. So this is the figure how the EV sales have been in various countries. Penetration in India is, of course, certainly not there. I'm not seeing Iceland here, but I was there in Iceland and I saw more than 30% buses were on EV. Next, please. So I think I have covered the benefits. Next. So some of the drawbacks also I have covered, and we can take up anything in the question answer session. Next, please. So these are the three things which we have to make a balance. The present, it is not economical because of the high cost of battery. In the present, the consumer charging and other concerns in the mind of consumers. And technology, of course, evolves over time, and government has done a very good job that they left to the industry to evolve whatever comes, hydrogen, EV, or any other technology. They were open. They didn't restrict to only one source. That is good thing the government has done. Next, please. So these are how the cost breakup is. In the case of EV, the major cost is in the battery, which can be solved by pantographs. Only problem with pantographs is you have to have a heavy infrastructure cost, and it is very successful for a fixed pattern like railways or like long highways. Next, please. So this is how the cost is coming down for the battery. Next, please. So EV adoption, any new technology, the adoption is like the S curve. Slow, 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 and then rapid, and then dies. Next, please. So this is how the various country-wise the adoption is in terms of percentage, but because those countries are very, very small, the volumes may not be that high as India. So China takes the lead in terms of percentage as well as numbers. But whereas in percentage terms, Iceland, Norway, and few more countries take the lead. Next. So what is the future look like? All type of sources for new mobility will be there, and EV will largely depend on the adoption of non-personalized car. That means railway, e-rickshaw, scooters, taxis, buses supported by government fund. Next. So government is doing a lot of initiative, FAME subsidies and no registration fees. Various states have put various rules. So government push is certainly there. Next please. But as happens in India, some clause will come and they will stop the subsidy for Tata vehicle or X vehicle. Next please. So more measures can be taken by government to push this new technology and the clean mobility. Next please.
I was invited here to Munich by BMW, the sponsor of this video, to find out why the future of cars is electric.
But electric cars are actually nothing new. They date back to 1832, well before the first gasoline-powered car. In fact, the first car to go faster than 100 kilometers per hour was, in 1899, an electric one, called the Jamais Content, meaning never satisfied. But people were apparently satisfied with electric cars. By 1910, they were almost twice as common on American roads as internal combustion engines. But then came the Model T, which at $650 was significantly cheaper than comparable electric cars. And as gas stations popped up around the country, they could be quickly refueled, allowing you to travel farther, faster, and cheaper than electric cars, which took a long time to recharge. So by 1935, the electric vehicle had been commercially obliterated. But electric cars were still useful for some things. In the vacuum of space, an electric vehicle was the obvious choice for the Apollo lunar roving vehicle. It was a single-use vehicle due to its non-rechargeable silver-zinc-potassium hydroxide battery, and it had a range of just 92 kilometers. But the astronauts never needed even half of this range. At the Munich Olympics in 1972, to lead marathon runners in their race, BMW created an electric version of its 2 Series car. The car ran on 12 large car batteries for a maximum range of 60 kilometers, or 37 miles. This demonstrated the benefits of electric vehicles. They can run quietly with no emissions. But it also illustrated their limitations. With the battery technology available at the time, electric cars were expensive and short range, impractical for everyday use. So why are electric cars the future? In 2020, BMW is launching the iX3 all-electric sport utility vehicle, and they plan to have 25 electrified vehicles in their fleet by 2023. A lot of their concept cars, like the Vision M Next, are electric vehicles, and they have a Formula E car which can now run a whole race on a single battery pack. This is all made possible by developments in battery technology. Batteries have gotten a lot better, particularly with the introduction of lithium-ion batteries. First used in mobile phones about 30 years ago, lithium-ion batteries have almost 2 times more energy in the same volume than the next best battery chemistry. Because of their use in many consumer products like phones and laptops, their manufacturing costs continue to decline, driven by manufacturing and supply chain optimization. Over the last 3 decades, the energy density has increased both per unit mass and per unit volume, while the price has plummeted. This is unlike internal combustion engines, which, after a century of development, have few areas left for improvement. And the reality is, you don't really travel that far in a car. The batteries available today are good enough for all but the longest road trips. In the US, 99% of trips are under 160 kilometers, or 100 miles. And electric cars are just better vehicles. Here are my top 10 reasons why.
First, more torque from a standstill.
Thanks to the battery.
So the concern about the charging is not real because the energy density is increasing, the charging length is increasing, we don't drive every time the long distances. The concern regarding nickel source, the lithium ion and other important metal sources is not very important because it is going to be recycled. Then the cost per kilometer is very, very low if your driving is typically 100 kilometer and above a day. Then this capital cost, the TCO, total cost of ownership, will be less. It is sort of automatic driving comfort is there. It regenerates by braking, it regenerates energy. And this is how the EV, other than personal vehicle, is going to be more and more in any country. Next, please.
Sir, I would request to please conclude.
Next, please.
Thank you, sir.
Next. Yeah. Thank you.